We're always thankful whenever we get viewer questions. Please, if you want to ask us a question, write it in the comment section of any of our videos, and we may answer it in a future bonus video. This one from Andrew Karpizin. I think I got that name right. Karpizin. Will it, and how badly will it, hurt the Habs draft if they keep climbing the standings this season? Jess, can they even climb the standings at all? I don't even think they can.
Well, right now they're still dead last in the NHL after that run that they just went on. Like things were so bad. Remember, they didn't win 2 games in a row up until, wasn't it early February? So
about then, yeah.
Like the Canadiens are not going to all of a sudden now soar and just miss the playoffs by a hair down to the last game of the regular season. Like this is done for the Canadiens. They are going to be at the bottom of the standings. But also, if you finish last in the NHL, there's no guarantee you're getting that first overall pick, So as long as they're going to still be one of the bottom feeders of the team, they will get a high draft pick. But the fact that they're winning games is not throwing everything off for the Montreal Canadiens' future. They will still have a high draft pick, and at least they'll add some entertainment for the last month and a half of the season.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeff, going into the game against Vancouver, the Canadiens were 7-1 in their last 8 games, and they were still the worst team in the NHL, still a point behind Arizona. So, they're not, after the March 21st trade deadline, they're going to be worse. They're not going to be better, right? They're going to be moving out Sherrod and some other key players. So it's, it's going to be tougher for them to win games. So they're either going to finish 30th, 31st, or 32nd. The only 2 teams that have a chance of catching are Arizona and the Seattle Kraken. So it's, the worry about it, the positivity that's come from all this winning and getting Cole Caulfield back on track and getting Petrie playing better is much more of a plus than, I think if they finish last, it's like it's about a 25% chance of getting the number 1 pick. So it's like a 75% chance you're not going to get the number 1 pick. And, from everything we heard about Shane Wright, it's not like he's going to be a superstar who's going to come in his first year and turn everything around. So it's a perfect situation right now. They're winning. They're getting a winning vibe back in the room, and they're not going anywhere in the standings. So it's a perfect situation for the Canadiens moving forward. They win games, get guys feeling good about each other and as a team, and with Marty St. Louis and moving into next season. And they're still going to get a high draft pick this year.
Yeah. And look at, no matter how hot and good they're playing right now, they're still going to draft very high. And, the good news out of all this is it's a team that's playing better as a group, better as individuals. That's a real positive. And, really, when you look at the big picture, if they continue on their winning ways, still the chances after the huge hole that they were in, to lose out on a real high pick is slim. But, Martin St. Louis, his concern was getting everybody on board, get everybody playing like they can play. And that's what his job is. That's what they're doing. But I don't think it's going to have a huge effect when it comes down to the draft time.
And the draft is such a crapshoot also. You look back, we did an earlier bonus episode on Shea Weber. He was a 2nd-round pick, and Patrice Bergeron was a 2nd-round pick the same year. They were probably the 2 best players to come out of that year's draft. So it's go through the NHL draft, go back on Hockey DB or whatever, and look at the 1st-round picks over the years. There's a lot more guys you've never heard of than there are guys.
Yakupov, where's he nowadays?
Guys you've never heard of than you have heard of. So, banking on an 18-year-old kid to turn a franchise around, and even look at Connor McDavid, best player in the NHL. The Oilers tank, they get Connor McDavid. They might not make the playoffs again this year. Buffalo's had a bunch of high draft picks. They're not going to make the playoffs. So, you build through the draft to an extent. Like, you want to make good draft picks and have guys come in, but tanking to get the top pick or the top 2nd pick doesn't necessarily mean you're going to turn your franchise around. And Edmonton and Buffalo are 2 teams that are examples of that.
And on top of that, those are 2 organizations where management, there's a lot of mismanagement, but with the Edmonton Oilers and the Buffalo Sabres as well. It's one thing for the players themselves to, not necessarily live up to potential. But I think in the case of Edmonton and Buffalo, they have not done, well, in Edmonton's case, they have not done a sufficient job in building around Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. The Buffalo Sabres did not do a great job of some of those 1st-round picks, including missing out on guys like Leon Draisaitl. And also offloading Jack Eichel because they didn't want him to do a surgery. Yeah, we got to remember, we got to keep this in mind too. With some of those teams, yes, those superstar players won't necessarily save teams. They might not also save organizations' mismanagements as well. One last thing I'll say before anyone else wants to drop in with any final thoughts, Andrew, if you're that worried, go on tankathon.com/NHL and just click what's the button you're supposed to click? Sim Lottery. Even if the Canadiens don't get the first overall pick, at the odds that we have right now, as we're recording, I don't think they go lower than like 4th or 5th. And again, it's not a guarantee you get the first overall pick if you're last, but you could be 4th, and you could be Detroit, and you could get Lucas Raymond, who is a Calder Trophy favorite, better than the number 1 overall pick, Alexis Lafrenière. It is a crapshoot. You could end up with a pretty good pick at 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's okay to enjoy the winning. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, that's right. I mean, the impact that this has had on Cole Caulfield and his development is much more valuable to this team moving forward, I think, than almost anything else. I mean, Cole Caulfield, if Dominic Ducharme was still coaching, was probably going back to Laval, unhappy, not playing in the NHL, goes into the offseason not in a good mood, coming back, but and just the positivity around him and Suzuki and Josh Anderson. The Habs have a number 1 line now. They have a legitimate number 1 line with those 3 guys, and that's going to be huge. They have the rest of the season to play together, build their chemistry together, work on things, and that's a real bright spot for this team moving forward.
And
Hockey insight. Oh, go ahead.
Right, I was just going to say, let's enjoy this entertaining brand of hockey that they're playing right now. And I had hidden my one of my Canadiens sweatshirts and refused to take it out in public, but now I can pull it back out of the closet and wave it around, on and off the wagon, right?
Well, they were bad and boring. I mean, it's not a good combination with bad and boring. It's not a good combination for a hockey team, whether it's winning games or selling tickets.
Jess, was it fun? Is it fun for you now, at least?
It is fun, and I'm happy that maybe when Rick Green goes out, he can use his real name this time. Now that the Habs are doing well.
Okay, we got to shut it down now. It's not going to get any better than that. Subscribe to the Montreal Hockey Inside Out show on YouTube. Subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out newsletter and visit hockeyinsideout.com to check out our full episodes of our wondrous and amazing show.